Hi guys, Ghost Peppa here. So today we're going to take a look a month in at my Ryzeal Primite deck list and see what kind of tweaks I've made. I've listened to some of your comments. Some of you really wanted to see a version with Verte. So I've made a version that incorporated it and also increased the card count just a tad, but I'm really excited to show you, so let's jump in. We're running 1 Dark Magician, 2 Ryzeal Black Dragons, 1 Ryzeal Darkness Metal Dragon, 1 Ryzeal Black Full Metal Dragon, 1 Metal Zoa X, 3 The Bestial Lubellion, 1 Zoa the Fiendish Beast, 1 Ryzeal Metal Claw, 1 Metal Flame Swordsman, 1 Bestial Baldrake, 1 Bestial Druisworm, 1 Bestial Magnemite, 1 Ryzeal Black Meteor Dragon, 3 Primite Dragon Ether Barrel, 3 Ash Blossom, 2 Max C, 3 Black Metal Dragon, 3 Effect Veiler, 1 Triple Tactics Thrust, 3 Incoming Machine, 1 Triple Tactics Talent, 1 Mausoleum of White, 1 1-for-1, 1 Branded Regained, 3 Primite Lordly Load, 1 Primite Roar, 1 Red Eyes Fusion, 2 Called by the Grave, 1 Primite Drill Beam, 1 Flame Coating Metalmorph, 1 Max Metalmorph. And then for the extra deck, we run, of course, 1 Red Eyes Dark Dragoon, 1 Zeus, 1 Typhon, 1 Dark Armed the Dragon of Annihilation, 2 Red Eyes Flare Metal Dragons, 1 number 11 Big Eye, 1 Volo Furnages the Darkest Dragon Doom Rider, 1 Heretic Dragon King of Atum, 1 Blackluster Soldier Soldier of Chaos, 1 SP Little Knight, 1 Predaplant Verte Anaconda, 1 Heretic Seal of the Heavenly Spheres, 1 Spirit with Eyes of Blue, and 1 Relinquished Anima. So let's go through some of the card choices before we look at the duels. So of course, for any of these Red Eyes decks, especially if Dragoon is in the mix, you have to include Dark Magician. And we want to keep the brickiness of running normal monsters as low as possible, but while also giving us fodder to run the Primite engine without being locked out off after 1 Red Eyes Fusion. So I think running it at 3 total normal monsters is your most solid bet. And one thing going up the ladder that I think is going to be helpful, and you guys may want to adjust other decks as well, is the main combo line is pretty great, but because of those bricks, we really needed to expand the deck list just a tad. That way, it's more easy for us to not see the bricks, and also we're more likely to get into some starters. So, a few things I did to accomplish this. One, I introduced or incorporated a full Bestial line. So we run the 3 Lubellion, and then we also run Magnemite, Druisworm, and Baldrake. That way, we can do some interaction during our opponent's turn. And also, we can extend quite a bit. We can recycle some of our lights and darks, which this deck uses a lot of. And it really interacts heavily against the current meta decks, including Blue Eyes, that are out right now. Also, they're really valid targets for our Heretic Seal. And of course, with the Bestial package, I am running Branded Regain just for that recyclability and draw, like I said. Then, Red Eyes Black Meteor, and some of those, they're good cards, but we needed to keep it slim. So, I'd like to see it, but I only want to see 1. And also, it's searchable very easily off of Black Metal Dragon. And we have the Black Metal Dragon, and we have Primite as our primary focused normal summons. So either of them will get us into very strong respective lines, one being the Primite engine, the other being the Red Eyes engine. Sometimes you'll go into both. And 1-for-1 is a really solid way to do that, and since there are so many hand traps running in this format and so many hand effects, I personally like to run the Triple Tactics line with it, including Thrust and Talent. Talent is an easy way to steal someone's Dragoon, link it away after you burn them, or remove their negate. It's a force negate as well, so if you activate it, they have to respond or they're going to lose something valuable. On the other hand, Thrust, yes, it can get me into Talent, but Thrust can also get me into 1-for-1, for example. And 1-for-1 instantly gets me into the Red Eyes line with Black Metal Dragon. Or, if I already have that line, I can go into Incoming Machine, start pulling the Metalmorph line. An Incoming Machine is not once per turn, so it's just really simple to run at 3. It doesn't really hurt you that much, especially in this deck where you're constantly chaining from card to card. I can understand limiting it a little more in Kashtira, which we can discuss that in a later video, but for Red Eyes Primite specifically, it needs 3. Also, if you notice, I cut Roar to 1. So Roar is a great card unless you draw 2 of them. I do not want to ever draw 2. But we need to have plenty of targets with load, so the fact that we have Ether Barrel at 3, that really lets us get around any limitations with Roar. I would only consider running Roar at 2 if for some reason you were running Ether Barrel at 1, but in this type of deck, it's never going to happen. Also, in the extra deck, there's been a little bit of shift that's occurred. Of course, Atom has entered because we have the larger Bestial package. And so, with 2 level 6 dragon monsters on the field, 2 Bestials, for example, I can very easily get into Black Metal Dragon or any other dragon that I want to start that line. Also, Flare Metal is at 2. The second Flare Metal is really a float spot. So if you wanted to run an additional Link or an additional Xyz card, feel free to shift that. I just like to use it quite a bit, so I am running it at 2. Big Eye, I've had a few comments on that. So Big Eye by itself is not a phenomenal card, but its effect forces someone to interact. So if they have a very large board, it has an effect where you detach a material, target a card, take control of it. So it forces them to use a negate they would normally use somewhere else because they don't want to lose a very important combo piece or a very important board defender. And then over here, I have incorporated Blackluster Soldier, Soldier of Chaos, as I do in many of my decks. But the big benefit there is it is an easy summon, it's an easy clear if somebody locks your board out with something. But also, more importantly, if you have a level 7 or higher, which there are many, many in this deck, you can summon this and your opponents cannot target it with card effects, and it cannot be destroyed by your opponent's card effects. So it gives a good amount of protection, also makes it almost impossible for decks like Labyrinth to gain control or beat over it. So it's a really valuable option to deal with. Now keep in mind, it will not protect it from cards like, ironically, Triple Tactics or from Heretic Seal, because Heretic Seal, it returns a face-up card on field to hand. So while Seal works against this, Seal will also work against Dragoon, that type of thing. So keep that in mind. It works both ways. You can use it against your opponents as well. Most of the rest of these cards are pretty similar to what you guys have seen. The only other one, let's see, you guys have asked a question about was Relinquished Anima. And so Anima is a tech card, but we do run 6 level 1s now, and actually I need to get into that too. We run it 6 level 1s, and so a level 1 instantly can go into Anima. If it's Black Metal Dragon, it gets a search, and then Anima is again another non-negotiable negate, because I will steal one of their cards because it attaches one of the opponent's cards it points to, which is straight up, to it as an equipped monster, which most times they're going to not go for. And if they do go for it, this combo, Black Metal Dragon and Anima, can easily get you directly into SP Little Knight, because you can go for Black Metal Dragon into Meteor, use Meteor effects, summon Meteor, link Anima and Meteor away, and then you have an SP Little Knight that comes out and banishes a card, and then you also get a banish that occurs when they activate a card effect. So very valuable. Also, another shift is Spirit with Eyes of Blue. So wow, guys, yes, I am running a Blue Eyes card. So the reason why is, one, it performs the same role as Striker Dragon, but you can chain block with it, which I've added the chain block field spell just so I can chain block for Black Metal Dragon to give it some ash protection. But there are two drawbacks. One is when it's on the field, you cannot special summon except for dragons. Well, most of your deck is a dragon type monster, and also you're adding to hand Darkness Metal, so you're going to remove that effect, so it's not super valid here. But secondly, the field spell that it searches, which is Mausoleum of White, is not mutually beneficial to Blue Eyes. It actually can help us too. So we have two effects here. One, we can normal summon a level 1 light tuner in addition to the normal summon and set. So I run 3 effect Veiler, so I can also summon that to get another effect monster into another link. Or, alternatively, or not mutually exclusive, I can target a face-up monster I control and send a normal monster from my hand or deck to the graveyard. So in the Verte line, specifically, you cannot get access to your Red Eyes Black Dragon using something like Primite Lordly Load. So you have to play a little differently, because Load, the last effect on it is to summon, special summon a normal monster from your deck, but Verte locks you out from special summoning a normal monster from your deck. So you have ways that you can sort of start to play around it. Also, if you only have level 7s and you need to extend with Flare Metal, sending that normal monster from Mausoleum of White will let you extend. And the other bit of it doesn't matter at all. Banish this card, add a burst stream, whatever. But since it specifically says send a normal monster on this field spell, I can send Red Eyes. It's not Blue Eyes exclusive. And it does give an attack boost to a monster. I have yet to come into a duel where that makes a difference, but hey, maybe you guys will be the first. But the other reason that this works well with the Bestial line here is running Effect Veiler as a potential bonus normal summon off of Mausoleum of White works well with the Bestial line, because if I use it to negate one of their cards, then I always have something in grave I can banish to summon a Bestial. So this sort of meshes a little bit cleaner now that I'm doing a Verte version. But sorry guys, I know that was a pretty long pre-explanation, but let's look at some of the combos. So here we're going second, and it looks like we're going to play against pre-ban Superheavy Samurai. This deck is known for putting out many Omninegates turn 1, and that looks like that's what we're going to be playing into. So in hand, we do have a Baldrake for some interruption on their turn. We have Lubellion, and then we have Full Metal and Flame Coating. Not the most ideal hand, it's playable, but what we draw is going to be very important. Because literally drawing into the Primite engine, any card from Primite, will be phenomenal. It will instantly make Drill Beam live, or getting Black Metal Dragon will also allow us a valuable combo piece. Since they are in Super Heavy, they don't have many darks. You can see one of them there in Wakushi, but they have Barone de Flor. That's even worse because they're going to rip. Okay, that's fine if they want to take Flame Coating. Okay. The other annoying thing is, you see there's no darks in grave, because when Pendulum cards die, they go to the extra deck unless another replacement effect applies. So it's going to be really hard for me to interrupt or engage with them. So they have an Omni, Negate, and Destroy. They have an Omni, Negate, and they have an Omni, Negate. I think it's just a Negate, not Destroy. Yeah. So 2 Omni Negates, but not Destroy, and 1 Omni Negate, Destroy. Also, Sprite Elf is live, so they will be able to special summon something else, which is going to be even more annoying. Alright, so here we go from least to most important. So first I'm going to go ahead and activate Full Metal, because it'll activate from grave, that's fine. Okay, 1 done. Alright, now here we will go Lubellion, Barone de Flor, okay? Also, notice how Baldrake is live. So even though we lost the ability to do the other, we can do this. So now I can normal summon Valor. Okay, they're going to summon, what is it? Motorbike, okay, that's fine. Alright, I'm going to use Anima here. Alright, I'm going to force that interaction here. There we go. Perfect. In response, I will banish my own effect Valor. Baldrake. Now, I'm going to use Lubellion's effect to special summon itself. Lubellion effect to set regained. And then, from here, I have a few options. So from this line, I can go SP Little Knight, I can banish Savage and shuffle it back, or I can go into Dragoon. Dragoon is going to be the best option from this place to help break this board, so we're going to Dragoon. And we know there's no imperm or anything, or they would have activated it, and it's not set. So we'll send this, summon Dragoon. Okay, this will let us get 2 pops. So we will blow up Warlord, they will burn. We'll blow up Barone, they will burn. Then we will enter battle, and we will clear this Sprite Elf. We also have in hand Drill Beam and Full Metal, so we do have a live negate. Predaplant is not strong enough to beat over that, so we should be good for follow-up. But we just played through 3 Omninegates here. Now, Psy-Frame, I could negate this, but that would leave me vulnerable, and really, out of those cards in hand, it doesn't matter. It's more important to be safe for the long run. Also, for this, they banished my black Full Metal, so I can shuffle it back in the deck with Regained and draw a card off of that, which I will go ahead and do. Okay, now we're getting touchy. So, the question is, do I want to protect Regained with Dragoon? Since I know their big 3 boss monsters are in grave, I think I will, just so I can get that Full Metal back into the deck. I'm going to discard Drill Beam because it will recycle. Most likely. What's in grave? Actually, no, I'm going to discard Flame Coating. Load, okay. So we have full Primite engine on my next turn. Alright, they did summon, so I can use Regained. See, this is another reason why I wanted to keep it. To summon Baldrake, and I can use Anaconda as Sin material when they go extra deck, which they did right here. I do not want them to recycle their cards, so I will go ahead and get rid of that by banishing it. Okay. They're running out of things they can do here. IP. So they do have a spin back, but it's a target if they're running Nightmare Unicorn. It doesn't look like they are. But notice now, see, I drew into load off of that, so I can instantly get rid of their card. So we're going to wait a moment. Alright, there we go, waited for it. Drill Beam, reveal, banish IP, and negate. Okay. We're going to shuffle theirs back, we're trying to get some of our card advantage back. Alright, we got Ash, that's not a bad option. Get Lubellion just in case they do some shenanigans, some summon, so I can get out my Baldrake again. And then I'm going to activate Load. Load's going to add to hand. Ether Barrel. Activate. Alright, choose a card to set. So I'm going to set another Load here. Can only activate once per turn, but that's okay. Drill Beam can now be reset to the field. I'm going to set Max Metalmorph, so I'll instantly be able to get into another Omninegate if it goes to the next turn, which it will not, because we're going to just beat them by burn damage here. So Dragoon is a good card, but it's not usually your primary target when you're building your board first turn. In this situation, we used it turn 2 to break a board, which is honestly one of the stronger ways to play it. Okay, we're going first here, so I'm going to start with Lubellion. No response. Okay, I'll add Magnum up to hand. We have Metal Flame Swordsman, so that instantly starts the Metalmorph line, so we're going to do that. We're going to add incoming machine just so we can deck then and get that into grave. Activate. We're going to get Zoa. Okay. We're going to activate Zoa. Special summon. What are they playing? Oh gosh, they're playing Ryzeal. Okay. I need to ash this. So Ryzeal, you guys don't have to deal with in Master Duel yet, but it is coming. So it's essentially an archetype based around level 4s. They are constantly searching each other. They're making big rank 4 Xyz at the end, which is a very common Xyz type that you can go into. But this is going to be very frustrating. But the good thing is, here, I ashed them, they activated extra Ryzeal, so Triple Tactics Thrust is live. So that means we have access to any of our starters that we want. I'm going to get Max Metalmorph anyways. Since they did this during my main turn, I can draw 2 with talent, or I can go in for 1/1. So I want the cards in my hand, so I don't want to discard for 1/1. I would rather draw into something using talent, and maybe it's interruption, maybe it's extenders, but we're going to have to see. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to add it to hand. To limit drawing into good items that I really want, I'm going to go ahead and set Max Metalmorph to deck then. Now we're going to draw into 2 new cards, and we are getting... Okay, we got into the Primite engine and another Ash. That Ash is really good against Ryzeal, so we're going to keep that for follow-up. I'm going to summon Primite, activate its effect. I'm going to set Lordly Load. I'm going to activate Lordly Load here, and I'm going to add to my hand Drill Beam. For the X Ryzeal, they can easily get this stuff over and over and over again, which is going to be really annoying. So here, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to use Red Eye's Darkness Metal Dragon, and I'm going to Banish Barrel. Keep in mind I have multiple in my deck. And I am going to use its effect to special summon Magnemite here. Activate Magnemite. I'm going to link away Magnemite into Lubellion. Activate Lubellion. Set Regained. Okay, now we need to get a little smart with this. So, from this board, I have Max Metalmorph, so I'm going to be able to get something out. The question here is, knowing Ryzeal is going to summon a lot, is an Omninegate going to be enough to stop them, or do I need to go for something that destroys? Arguably, I would say going for the destruction is going to be stronger. So I think I'm going to go for Heretics, well, because, alright, we have a few options. We can go into Omni, or we can go into Omni, Balance, Omni. Yeah, see, this Dragoon is good on the follow-up, but here it's just not. Okay, so we are going to special summon Heretic Seal using Darkness Metal and using Lubellion here. Alright, I am going to activate Lordly Load. Searching for our Red Eyes. We should have 2 in deck. There we go. Summon. Okay. And here, I could activate it now, but I'm going to wait to use it when they try to summon something. So I'm going to set it, and I'm going to pass. Okay? And then we will add a card to hand. So I'm going to add Baldrake to hand because I need that intense interaction with their stuff. Okay? We'll activate it. And this is during the end phase, so I can actually banish and shuffle cards back. So I'm actually going to go ahead and do that because card advantage is king here. So I'm going to banish and shuffle back Darkness Metal. Okay, Dark Magician, that's okay. It just means if they remove Red Eye Spike Dragon, I still have ways to get around it. So we're going to use Max Metalmorph here, just like I said. We're going to send Zoa because the pops are going to be important. We already have our Negate and Drill Beam. We will equip. So now whenever they activate a when they activate a monster effect or a spell card, I can pop a card on their field. Spoiler alert, Ryzeal is all monsters and spells for the most part. So we're going to be able to play through this pretty well. So, Sword Ryzeal effect, Branded Regained effect. They're using Called By here. So, I don't need that to resolve. So I will let that go through. I would rather save the interaction for more difficult things to deal with. And they did banish it, so I will be able to shuffle it back and draw a card. We drew into our Black Metal Dragon starter, so we're even better for the next turn. Okay, here's the first link. Okay. We do have Drill Beam set, so I'm gonna wait. There we go. Detach, we will respond with Drill Beam. So they are trying to blow up my field. We will negate and banish. Okay. Ice Ryzeal, we will Ash Blossom this. Okay. So far, so good. All right, they're going to draw 2 cards here. I don't really want them to start getting into things, so I'm going to go ahead and pop Ice Ryzeal. Pot of Desires, they're digging deep. Okay, we actually, I think, have made it through this pretty well. Okay, so during the end phase, I can use Hermetic Seal to bounce. Okay, I want to get, it's a little greedy, but I want to get a double search. So I'm going to use Hermetic Seal. I'm going to Tribute itself. I'm going to bounce Load to hand, so that way I'll get a Load search the next turn. Now, they did Ash that, but that's okay. I got to reset Load. Alright, draw. Alright, they went Fuelos. So I have to finish them here. Alright, we're going to go ahead and get Load. We will add to hand. Roar here, I think, will be best. Okay. Draw and lock. So they are preventing me from adding cards to hand for the rest of the duel. That is okay. I have 8,300 on field. I think we're just going to go for it because not doing so is risky. And just in case we need a little extra damage, I'm going to go ahead and equip Black Metal to Red Eyes. It's better to do that than give them card advantage, especially against Ryzeal. And there we go. So you guys can see that resource management is extremely important when you play Red Eyes, but you can still beat decks like Ryzeal. The version with Verte just requires being attentive to some of your combo lines, but it's still a fun way to play Red Eyes Primite, so I hope you guys give it a try. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll try to come out with more Red Eyes content like this over the coming weeks, and I'll catch you guys next time.